Welcome back here to Mountain Connections. We are blessed to have so many great entrepreneurs on the show with us today, and our next guest is Kris Sugatan. She is the founder of her company Sugatan, which helps e-commerce businesses scale, and she's helped actually 6 companies reach 7- and 8-figure revenues in under 6 months, which is just a phenomenal thing. Kris, how are you doing today?
Hi, good. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's great to have you here on the show. Let's talk a little bit about your business and everything that you guys do. You guys are kind of an all-around e-commerce business. You've been compared to almost like a Y Combinator for e-commerce.
Yeah, what we do is we're very selective with the businesses that we decide to scale because the product has to be stellar. There has to be proven that the market has spoken that they want the product, and what we do is we take those businesses who has had some success, and then we're the growth team. So we basically really buffer them up for growth, but with that we go through all of the growing pains with the founders and entrepreneurs. But one of the main missions that we do is we help them bootstrap successfully so that the founders can retain as much equity as possible in their business as they scale it.
Which is one of the biggest things that founders fear in scaling businesses is in getting those next rounds of investments, is losing that equity in the company, that valuable, precious equity, especially in startups, because a lot of the times this is the person's baby. This is the thing that they are focused on completely, and the last thing they want to do is lose any equity in that.
Yeah, and usually it's actually harder to get a $100,000 loan for a small business than it is to get like a $5 million loan because you're not that established yet. And so that's kind of one of our main things, is that we drive the growth that allows them to scale profitably, and then we just grow with them. There is such a thing as death by suffocation when you grow too fast.
Yeah.
And so we work with the businesses and the founders to essentially start structuring and having a strong infrastructure to support that scale. So we go through the whole journey with them, and it's really fun. It's awesome.
Is it fun? Yeah, you guys love it. On your website, you guys actually talk about the fact that your team, which is based internationally, is loves and is addicted to the grind, is what you guys say. And by that, you mean you love the whole process of taking these companies that have had success, as you said, but are kind of hitting that glass ceiling and helping them break through that, which is a big thing.
Exactly, and what we're really good at is we go to sleep breathing, eating, sleeping, analytics, data, ad tech, but we're not product people at all. So if you take a product like Jeff's product, for example, and we're like, we don't know what to do with that. We don't know what the next line of products are. We don't know how to make it healthy, but we know how to scale it. And so we really match with product people, really. So it takes product inventors, right? That's their strength, that's their passion. And then our strength and passion is how to take that and really leverage and scale it online. So we're, e-commerce is B2C, it's business to consumer, direct to consumer, and so we know how people are going to respond to it, and so that's what we do.
And you've had some interesting case studies, which you can see the full list of them on her website, sugatan.io, but let's talk about one of those. What has been one of your favorite experiences and one of your favorite case studies working with some of these companies? Like, what do you like the most?
Yeah, we had this one gentleman, he was from Wall Street, actually. And he really didn't like what he was doing there, so he decided that he wanted to create a lifestyle company that was driven by, he wanted to fund his own travel lifestyle. And so he created these sunglasses, and he was his best customer. And the glasses were really durable, and they were like unbreakable, essentially. And they were sunglasses. So when he came to us, he was making $3,000 per month. And now he's making $500,000 per month.
Wow.
And we really just took that concept and we built the whole thing for him. And we've gone through the trenches about, he ran out of inventory, then we had to wait and kind of help him build his infrastructure. And yeah, it's been really fun.
As you said, all of the struggles that you experienced and try to take your business to the next level, which is great. Again, you can learn more at sugatan.io. I want to learn more about you, Kris, though, because you have an awesome story as well. What inspired you to get into the e-commerce business specifically, and how did you get to where you are today?
No plans whatsoever. I was a server for 7 years, and that's what I was doing. I had $375 in my bank account when I decided to quit serving and never go back again. And I started freelancing, actually. I really leveraged this time, very special time that we're in right now, which is the digital world. And what I love about the digital world is that it doesn't discriminate. You can be rich, poor, old, young, college educated or not, but there is an opportunity there for you, and you can make a very successful business if you just leverage this opportunity. And that's exactly what I did. I started with freelancing, and then from freelancing, I just acted on what's 10 feet ahead of me at a time. No joke, I had no plans, but I just followed what excited me as I was exploring the different disciplines in this as a freelancer. And then I actually got like a company that was selling gummy bears at 90 calories, but it tasted just like gummy bears, and that was my first success. I turned their 10,000 into 30,000. Wow. And after that, I was hooked. I was like, this is it.
This is what I like to do.
This is it. I love doing this, yeah.
How exciting when you find that and you get that passion. What is maybe the biggest lesson that you've learned along the way? Because I think it's awesome. You've had an experience where you get to really learn from your experiences, and as you're working, as you said, you're kind of looking 10 feet ahead of you at all times. What's the biggest lesson that you've had, and what's your takeaway?
Yeah, you know, I've studied spirituality for the last 19 years. I have a brother that passed away. And when he passed away, I really started looking into, okay, what happens when we die? And one of the most amazing things that I learned throughout my 19 years of study of spirituality is that there is the higher self. And I cling on to this because this is the pattern throughout many different religions and like spiritual practices and disciplines and philosophies, that there is this higher self. And the higher self, to make it, I guess, digestible, is your higher self sits on the mountaintop, and so it can see everything, whereas we, as our physical selves, we can only see at the valley level. And so our higher self is really like our intuition. And when I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs when I was just starting this, they all said, they were very successful, and they all said, there's that one secret sauce, and that's your intuition. And I remember at the time I was like, really? Oh, okay. And they're like, somebody can give you a template, but you really have to go with your intuition.
Learn and trust yourself.
Learn and trust yourself. And when I started actually implementing that advice, because in business, you really never know. You can have a roadmap and the template, but gosh,
there's always problems being there.
Yeah, and you just don't know, and you always come with so many forks in the road, and if you really just kind of like listen to yourself and your intuition, it's going to help you guide you, and then also use your excitement as like, you know what, there's all of these options that I have to go, but I'm excited about this one, so I'm going to figure it out as I go along, and I know it's going to work out if I go in that direction. And that has helped the entrepreneurs that I work with manage their fear, manage their anxiety about the reality is that you're not in control, and you kind of just have to enjoy the ride.
That's fantastic. Some great advice, Kris. Thank you so very much for coming here on Mountain Connections. Again, we have an amazing entrepreneurship community here in Utah, a lot of product developers, and if you need some help scaling your business, you should definitely check out her website at sugatan.io. You can check out those case studies, as I said earlier, and learn a little bit more about her methodology and exactly how her team takes the businesses from that to the next level, which is a really, really big deal. We're going to be coming back with much more right here on Mountain Connections, so stay tuned.